Is Vontaze Burfict a dirty player? Yes. But in all seriousness, of course Vontaze Burfict is a dirty player. There's way too much evidence of that in his playing career. But that's not what we're here to discuss. Today we're here to discuss the career of Vontaze Burfict, the legacy of Vontaze Burfict, because it looks like his NFL career could be over. Now, I don't want to be disrespectful to Vontaze Burfict because I think people have given him a bad rap. Not as a dirty player. He's clearly a dirty player, but people act like he only is in the league because he's dirty. No, he's in the league because he's good. He's a very, very smart football player. He's not that athletic. He ran a 5.40 at the combine, but he has found a way to stay in the league, not exclusively because he's dirty, but because he has the football IQ to be in the places that he is in order to have the opportunity to be so dirty. It's a gift and a curse when it comes with Vontaze Burfict. Because one could say, man, if he just wasn't dirty, he would be such a great player. But I would say he's probably not in the league if he's not as aggressive as he is. I don't think you get one without the other when it comes to Vontaze Burfict. And the other gave Vontaze Burfict, admittedly, a long career in the NFL, much longer career than he should have because he was undrafted, and made him a lot of money, despite the fact that he is not going to play another game this season or maybe ever. But instead of doing what everybody else has done, which is shaking a finger at Vontaze Burfict and saying, you're dirty and you get out, and all of that, I want to change it up a little bit. I want to come at it a little bit differently. I want to actually celebrate Vontaze Burfict in a way. Because whether you think he is a scumbag, dirty player, or if you think he is a passionate, throwback, dirty player, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. When Vontaze Burfict goes full on Vontaze Burfict, there's not a lot more in sports that's more interesting than trying to figure out what the hell was going on in his mind during that Vontaze Burfict moment. So this week, we're going to break them down. We're going to look at them. The top 5 most Vontaze Burfict moments. The gift and curse of Vontaze Burfict started very early on in his career, even in college. One of the reasons Vontaze Burfict wasn't drafted coming out of college was because of his reputation as such a dirty player. But another reason why we even know the name Vontaze Burfict is because, well, Vontaze Burfict is really good at football when he doesn't go over the top. And part of that is because of his football IQ, and the other part of it is because of his insane hustle. This dude does not quit on a play. He has a great motor. And in college, that was in full effect. But what else was in full effect is the curse of Vontaze Burfict. Because while he will gift you and make some great plays, he will most definitely curse you. And this play was a curse. Owen Marisic would catch this pass and go for about 30 yards here. And Vontaze would be in a good position to limit this while somebody else was already over top to limit the damage of this play. Now, Vontaze has 2 options right here. He could let his teammate finish the tackle, force the guy out to the boundary, and just let the play end and, live to play another game. Or he could needlessly ram his head into the neck of Owen Marisic for no good reason. What do you think Vontaze Burfict chose? If you selected needlessly ram his head into somebody's neck and then celebrate over that dude who just got 30 yards on your defense and you just added another 15 because of your penalty while you just got ejected, yeah, you picked the right Vontaze Burfict answer. And honestly, what is the best way to start off this list than one of the most early examples of a Vontaze Burfict moment? Because it has all the elements of a Vontaze Burfict moment. Needlessly ramming your head into somebody? Check. Getting ejected shortly after? Check. Celebrating over said ejection? Check. It's a good Vontaze Burfict moment. Now, needlessly is the key word here because this is the key element of the Vontaze Burfict that we catch here. After this play against Oregon State, Vontaze Burfict just decides to, headbutt a dude. For what reason? I don't know. But he just headbutted a man. Vontaze freaking Burfict. And then his coach is like, hey, man, why'd you do that? And then Vontaze is like, get out of my face. And if there's not a more Vontaze Burfict thing somebody can do than needlessly headbutt somebody in front of a coach and an official and then just shrug off the fact that he did that, I don't know what else is more Vontaze Burfict than that. Number 3. Now, this one isn't as funny as the last 2 entries, and this is the first one of these entries to be of his NFL days. But this is just dirty. And this is him twisting the ankles of not just Cam Newton, but Greg Olsen. Both guys coming off of foot injuries, both just extremely dirty plays. And look, you can defend some of his other dirty actions, like maybe the late hits, or him jamming his head into things that don't belong during a football play, as him just being a hard-nosed football guy that's having trouble adjusting to the new rules. What's the excuse for twisting a dude's ankle off? Now, this Vontaze Burfict moment was just a pretty standard Vontaze Burfict moment, right? You got the needlessly lowering your head into somebody's face, getting ejected and then celebrating about that said ejection. So very textbook Vontaze Burfict moment. But this was the one that finally broke the camel's back, because everybody was just tired of this whole thing. And maybe it's because Vontaze Burfict convinced everybody that he changed when he went to Oakland and became a team captain. Or maybe it's the fact that he doesn't play in Cincinnati anymore. But for whatever reason, this ain't going down in Oakland. Everybody decided that they had it, and honestly, yeah, everybody's probably right. And it's enough of Vontaze Burfict at this point. And there are people who are trying to defend this, like by saying that Jack Doyle said that the hit was fine. It's not the fact about how hard the hit hurt. It's more the fact that he led in with his head like a spear and tried to kill a man on the football. Just because he wasn't successful at murder doesn't mean that he didn't try to murder. Like, you don't get to try to kill somebody, fail, and then just not go to jail. That's not how that works. So, yeah, I don't care if it didn't hurt the guy. It shouldn't have to get to the point where it has to hurt the guy. The fact is that he went in with his helmet first like a missile and really just tried to take dude out. There's no more of that in the NFL. That hasn't been allowed for almost a decade now. It's not even new. Like, James Harrison was complaining about these rules in 2008. It's 2019. What's the excuse? Okay. Now, this Vontaze Burfict moment is probably the best and most hilarious Vontaze Burfict moment, unless you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan. Then this isn't funny at all. This is painful, and my condolences to you. I know I make jokes about the Bengals on this channel, but this is just painful. This is painful. I watched this live and thought this was painful, so my apologies to any Bengals fans that come across this video. But if you're not a Bengals fan, oh my goodness, this is hilarious. So this moment tells you everything in a flash of what you need to know about the career and legacy of Vontaze Burfict. Why do I say that? Because it gives you the heights of Vontaze Burfict, and it immediately shows you the depths of Vontaze Burfict. Now, what do I mean by that? Allow me to explain. First, what you need to know is this happened right after the Bengals. Big Ben's out the game. He's not playing. He's on the sideline. So the Steelers have 2 timeouts, Landry Jones, and 2 minutes left on the clock. This is a very winnable situation for the Cincinnati Bengals. And guess who was dominating this game? One man named Vontaze Burfict. Vontaze had 6 tackles, a sack, and with 1:36 left in the game, got what everybody thought was a game-sealing interception. Yes, Vontaze Burfict was about to bring the Bengals their first playoff win since the 80s. See, that's that good football IQ. He was in the right spot at the right time, got the ball, and then he added some Vontaze Burfict sprinkle in it, but nothing too bad. All he did was just run to the wrong end zone and run off the field and celebrate a lot, and made it really easy to make fun of the moment. But at the time, we weren't even thinking of that. We were thinking, wow, the Bengals really pulled this thing off. Now, unfortunately, right after that play, Bengals fumbled the ball. Gave it right back to Pittsburgh. What? Hey, Landry Jones is still in. Still not that much time. Only got the 2 times. Is that Big Ben? That's Big Ben. Big Ben's warming up. Big Ben's going to come back into the game. But Ben's clearly injured. He's not recovered magically in the quarter that he was out. And they're starting this drive on a 9-yard line. And it looks like Ben can't throw the ball more than 5 yards, as he almost exclusively gets to midfield by throwing screens and running the ball. Eventually, Ben gets to a situation where he's about at midfield with 22 seconds left, and I believe no timeouts. Now, Ben can't throw the ball over 5 yards his whole drive. This play, he finally musters up enough strength to drive the ball about 15. Part's not conclusive yet, but he did something to Antonio Brown in that moment that changed him forever. But that's not the important part right now. What's important is that was also a 15-yard penalty. And what makes this even worse is that the hit was completely unnecessary. Antonio Brown had dropped the ball already. Like, if he just slows up and doesn't touch Antonio Brown, that play doesn't change. And the Bengals probably win that game because Ben really couldn't throw the ball at all during that drive. But it gets worse, because while they were trying to sort things out, while they're trying to pick up Antonio Brown's body off the field, Vontaze tries to show some support to Antonio Brown. It's not appreciated by Dick LeBeau. Dick LeBeau gives him a little shove. Got into a situation where he's screaming, and he pushed the referee, and then boom, another penalty flag. So now that's 2 15-yard penalties in just one play. The Bengals, essentially, with 22 seconds left and no timeouts, gift wrap the Steelers 30 yards. 30 yards that a one-armed big man probably wouldn't have got. 30 yards in 2 penalties, which turned a near impossible 60-yard field goal in the rain, and there was just terrible conditions on the field. Wouldn't have made a 60-yard field goal. Vontaze's late hit turned that 60-yarder into a 45-yard field goal. Still hard to make. Still not really that possible. But then Vontaze got into it with Joey Porter, which brought in Adam Pac-Man Jones to get into it even more, which added 15 more yards, which turned this into a 30-yard chip shot to win the game. All of this happening after Antonio Brown definitively dropped that ball. What a way to blow a game. I mean, multiple times there for the Bengals, but what a way to blow a guy. I have never seen a collapse like that. I hope to never see a collapse like that, where it was completely due to people making terrible non-football related decisions on the field. I've never seen something like it. And in a matter of 4 seconds, the Bengals went from pretty sure they're going to win a playoff game to they got to be cursed or something, which is a horrible feeling, I tell you. And honestly, hey, there's only one person in the world capable of bringing Bengals fans such joy just to suck it right out of him, and that's Vontaze Burfict. And also, if losing that game because of his actions wasn't an L and revenge enough for the Steelers, Juju did this to him. So yeah, those are the 5 most Vontaze Burfict moments. If you're a Bengals fan, let me know what your memories of Vontaze Burfict are. If you're not a Bengals fan, let me know also what your legacy of Vontaze Burfict and what you think he's going to be remembered for. Gee, I wonder what people are going to write there. But that is it for this week's video. If you like what I did here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload. And if you want to help the show out and donate a little bit of money, please join the Patreon or buy a shirt. Either way is greatly appreciated. But that is it for this week's show. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Have a good night.